Lauren has been coming along to Agile Yorkshire since the very early years.
13 years, I think.
13 years, and
I know I don't look that old.
no, she doesn't look that old. She definitely looks in better condition than I do. Please give Lauren a super warm welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Lauren Ackroyd, and tonight I want to tell you a story about redundancy, resilience, and a year that turned out to be unexpectedly quite remarkable. And I want you to leave here with a message of hope. So let's rewind to last year. I declared in February, March time of 2024 that it was going to be the year of doing things that scared me. The universe certainly delivered. I'm actually considering taking up professional manifestation as a side career. In August 2024, I was made redundant from a job that I absolutely loved. That was having gone through months and months of consultation. The emotional toll was significant. It impacted my self-esteem, my confidence. It left me questioning my value and place in the professional world. I felt like I was grieving this career future that I had for myself and didn't know what was next. My future just felt like it was suddenly out of reach. I was navigating a storm of emotions, trying to figure out what my next step would be. Sky was the first place I had ever worked where I felt like I was at home. I could bring my 100% fully authentic self to work every day as an undiagnosed woman in her 30s with ADHD. It explains a lot. As soon as I joined Sky, I immediately had the respect of my colleagues. I didn't have to prove it, I was just given it. My opinions were listened to and my ideas were taken forward. My colleagues became my friends. Sky was a place where I finally felt confident as well as at home. To have all of that pulled out from under me was significant. Raise your hand if you've been made redundant. Nearly everyone. If you haven't, but a family member or friend has, could you raise your hand? That's nearly every single person in the room, right? It's so common, and over the last 18 months, I've just seen it grow and grow and grow, especially locally. So let's talk about the emotional impact of redundancy, because it's not just professional. Like I said, it affects your self-esteem and your confidence. I went through a journey of reflection and transformation, and I want to acknowledge tonight that that's completely normal. The Kubler-Ross change curve illustrates this journey, and it actually gives us a framework for understanding the emotional impact of a change. We've got shock and denial, frustration and anger, then depression, experimentation, and finally, we get to that place of acceptance and integration. These are the 5 stages of grief, and I have described going through redundancy as like experiencing grief. Now, personally, I knew I had to take action quickly. I had no control over the redundancy, it was being put upon me, but what I did have control over was how I responded to it. This meant that I had to get to the stage of anger and frustration because I needed that emotion to motivate me to apply for roles. Otherwise, I know I would have just stayed in this shock and denial stage. It's actually thanks to the confidence that Sky gave me that I was able to get there, because I thought to myself, no, I don't deserve this. I'm damn good at my job. And if you don't value my role and my colleague's role, there's going to be somewhere else that does. And I'm going to find it. It's not a straight line. People go backwards and forwards through the different stages. I certainly did. I kept going back to shock and denial, and I observed my colleagues doing exactly the same. Now, everyone in this room, I think, put the hand up. If you know somebody going through that, I want to ask you as leaders, colleagues, friends, please support people through it. You really, really need to be communicating empathetically, actively listening to them, supporting them through each of the stages and understanding it's okay if they bounce backwards and forwards. My experience was our safe colleagues didn't know how to approach us. One of my friends actually said to me, it was like redundancy was catching. People literally would walk the opposite way in the office if they saw you coming. People that you would usually speak to all day, every day, go for a coffee with, they just ignored you. And it's because they didn't know what to say to you. And I get that now, and it's really easy to, a year on, see that. But at the time, you're like, this is really shit, and you're making it worse. And that colleague actually just said to me, you know what, I'm not coming into the office anymore, I can't face it. So after the initial shock, I began to reframe the experience, and I moved into that stage of experimentation. So redundancy is painful, but it actually became a catalyst for change for me. I decided to apply for roles that I wouldn't have otherwise. I applied for roles that I was overqualified for, roles I was underqualified for, and I even applied for roles in consultancy, something I'd been really interested in applying for before, but between us and whoever watches this on YouTube, I didn't have the confidence to go for it. I didn't know how I would feel moving around different companies every 3 to 6 months. I didn't have that self-belief that I could do it. So I decided to embrace the unknown, and that allowed me to rediscover my strengths and my passions. In this picture, I am presenting my talk in July 2024 at Agile Yorkshire. That week, I had been going through redundancy consultation. I supported my team who were going through redundancy consultation. I'd had 3 interviews for different companies. My son had stay-in-play sessions at primary school ahead of start and reception. Couldn't go to them because I was in interviews. Just because I was getting made redundant, my bills didn't change. And I think just looking at me there in my eyes, I just don't recognise myself. At this point, I'm literally just surviving. But sometimes the best gifts come wrapped in uncertainty. What felt like a loss became an opportunity. And one of those interviews came good. My first year at Capgemini Invent has been filled with experiences that I couldn't have anticipated. In November 2024, I attended a consulting training course at Les Fontaines, which is Capgemini's chateau in Paris. There was a themed bling at the disco night, and after the first 3 quarters of 2024, I have to say that partying in a chateau in Paris was definitely not on my 2024 bingo card. What else have I done? I have had learning opportunities that I've never had anywhere else. I haven't had to argue for £100 to be able to do some internal training like I have in other places. I had the honour of opening my client's delivery conference for 2025. And I got to go to another castle in Surrey this time, where I attended Invent X, which is their flagship training. Most importantly, I found another incredible team. I didn't lose my professional home, I just moved to another one. I've also had the opportunity to learn and develop my own skills. I've been on several courses, 4 new certifications, and I've got hands-on experience in consultancy and account management. I've got more involved in the Agile community by, co-helping with Agile Yorkshire. I met so many amazing people, and I can say hand on heart, I finally got my confidence back. So, what lessons have I learned? The main one, redundancy is not rejection. Facing fear builds resilience. Growth happens when you face uncertainty, even if it's scary. These lessons aren't mine, they're universal truths. So take a moment to consider what change you might be resisting now. As I reflect on the last year, I'm filled with gratitude and hope. Redundancy, whilst initially devastating, became a gateway for a remarkable year. This festive season, it's a time for reflection and renewal. So see your current challenges as opportunities in disguise. If you're facing change, try reframing it as an opportunity. What's one small thing you could do this week? Thank you.